Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blade and Soul Season 1 European Invitational. My name is Brunch, and joining me here today as my fellow co-caster is Barney. How are you doing, man?
I am very well. How are you?
I am wonderful, and not only that, if you haven't heard much of Barney, as he unfortunately just only now recently, as a recent started casting, he has been a part of the Legion Esports team, and he has provided exceptional analysis to our prior Blade and Soul organized tournaments over there. So please, welcome. Apologies as I get my nerves under control to him, as he's definitely been doing exceptionally there. So once again, if you're unaware of the format of the tournament, it is going to be a double elimination style, which means that teams have to lose twice to exit the tournament. And on top of that, for our respective semifinals and grand finals, which will be streamed here on the channel, it will be a 7-set mix and match setup, meaning that teams will have not only 1v1s, as well as 3 versus 3 matches to go over. So 1v1s will provide 1 point respectively, and the 3 versus 3 ones 2 each. So the first team to get 6 points will be the victor of the overall match. So that's what you got to keep your eyes out for. And that's the big thing, Barney, right? It's not only just 1v1 now, so you got to keep it in mind team synergy and just team composition with the different classes.
Indeed. To follow up on the kind words that you gave me, I hope I can provide adequate analysis. But in 1v1s, the matchup there can be, it is probably the most important thing. Player skill can be factored in as well. But when it comes to the 3v3s, as you said, team composition is possibly more important than individual player skill. If you have a team that doesn't necessarily mesh well together, or ones that can't necessarily create openings for themselves, then they will struggle against more organized teams. For instance, have factored in ways to save their teammates from perhaps inopportune moments, and otherwise try to keep themselves alive, not dying, for instance, before using all of your assists, for instance, is also another thing. Player pride.
Oh, of course. So, and not to mention player pride, but a lot of prizes are on the line. Not only are there big cash prizes here, with first place taking home $1,200 alone, you also have the added bonus of getting those very valuable fighting points. So first prize will be getting those 220 fighting points, which will contribute towards making sure that they eventually managed to qualify for those very important EU regional finals to then go ahead and represent EU in the World Championship, which I don't know about you, Barney, but I'm definitely really excited to see. Not only will we finally be able to see the likes of our top players here in the EU, but EU face off against North America too, and then you have the other regions, which will just make for a very exciting overall tournament. And as said, as you can see right now on your screen, those are the respective prizes for the first throughout up until the 4th place. And again, since we will be heading into our first match very shortly, it will be between Team Bad Intentions and Slackers. So these two teams, of course, Bad Intentions, all of those players should be well known to everyone if you have watched or been keeping up with the esports scene over here for Blade and Soul EU. Tena Ryuki, of course, both previous winners of Rumble in the Realms, respectively. But interestingly enough, Barney, Slackers is not only an exceptional team in and of itself, but these two, or rather these 3 players, have a lot of history against all of these Bad Intentions squad.
Indeed. From being just all around pals, buddies, joking around with each other, having skirmishes, and trolling each other on the ladder, they are quite aware of each other's playstyles, and I'm certain that they will do everything in their power to take advantage of the knowledge they have gained over the time they have spent with the opposition. Indeed, the class matchups as well. They both have a Blade Master on their team, so there will be very similar things to look out for in that regards. But both the other classes are very different. And indeed, with the Warlock coming in with a time distortion, can definitely help in perhaps an unfavorable matchup. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I'm not sure who has the better chance here, but we will see.
And to start it all off, it will be Luki versus Kelly here, Blade Master versus Summoner. And as we headed right in here, Luki not really getting too much of an advantage as he is going to be knocked up into the air. Kelly getting the best of him here, dropping him low to 50%. And Barty, this is looking disastrous for Luki.
What a terrible start. So much damage straight away. He's managed to get some back with the Wing Protector, but he attacked right into the stealth from Dandelion.
And now that he got dazed up, dropping already back to 20%, knocked up into the air.
Oh,
and
God,
this should be it. Kelly with a very swift first round win.
Goodness me. That was absurdly fast. Luki having almost no time to do anything at all. He tried to buy some time with the Wing Protector. However, the health restore isn't as effective against the summoner due to the multiple applications of Deep Wound. In addition, there are so many attacks coming in from the summoner, from the cat, from damage over time, from the summoner themselves, that the actual resist duration is also used up very quickly. And once that is gone, your only other real option there for Luki was probably Shoulder Charge. But after that, you are very much in a bad position.
So and even that, it's mostly going to buy a bit of extra time to try and recuperate after such a bad start. And that's another one of the things here. Since each team chooses who will go up first for those 1v1s, it seems as if Team Slackers just definitely picked up an advantage first point potential win here with Kelly QQ against Luki. But for the next couple of 1v1s, it means that Kelly will not be able to partake in those. You have to swap out and use each individual member respectively. So even though Kelly potentially here getting the big advantage to start things off for Team Slackers, might just not be enough for them. So we're going to have to wait and see, of course, as this was definitely a very one-sided victory here. Kelly bringing out the big guns, or the big Bs, if you will, for that swift win. And what are your expectations coming into the next one, since it will be another 1v1, of course?
Well, probably the assessment here for Team Slackers is most likely who should they pit against Ryuki on the Assassin and Tenna on the Warlock. Those matchups themselves will be very important to win. If I were to make the decision myself, I would probably say that the Kung Fu Master against the Warlock would be a fairly good matchup. If they manage to strafe most of the damage, then they get agility and 100% evasion for the next 6 seconds. If that happens during a time distortion, that can be quite bad for Tenna if he also misses imprisons. But additionally, the Kung Fu Master versus Assassin matchup recently got a lot better thanks to the recent changes.
Oh yeah.
And indeed, that seems to be what they've gone for, so we'll see how this pans out.
And Jiro is definitely one of the most menacing KFMs to face up against here in EU as the round will start. And I do believe he did go for that second wind, and that is going to be very important for him. But follows it up with the Rising Dragon, which will prompt the use of that Lotus Escape for Ryuki. And already things are looking up for the Assassin here as he gets the follow-up, knocks his opponent up into the air, and Ryuki could be setting up for a nice combo here. 15 seconds left on that second win means Jiro's gonna be out of options here. 50% already down. Jiro needs to somehow make it out of the combo in this next 5 seconds, else he's done for. And Ryuki surgically just executes it perfectly.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. although the matchup did get better, there are still Assassin is still Assassin. So blowing your second wind, perhaps so very early on Spinal Tap, an ability which has a very, very, very short cooldown. Well, then you're still left in the position of, in the next 9 seconds, you're still not going to have your escape, and so he can just repeat the same thing over again. And as you saw, he got caught out. Even though Jiro did have some very, very good elbow smash counters, he managed to avoid the swap from Ryuki once with the elbow smash counter, which is very, perhaps difficult to do in a tense situation. Alas, it was not enough to save him or indeed to win the round, let alone win the round.
And that means that both of these teams are going to be tied up 1 point each. Remember, the first team to reach 6 points will be the victors of the match. So it is going to be a 1-1 now. And going into the next one, it will be our free versus free set. So that's going to be really interesting, as it's going to be worth 2 points. So maybe coming into this one, both of the teams, of course, will be having their eyes on the prize, trying to get that very important victory, since this is as much worth as 2 1v1 wins here. It means that a lot of things will be important, of course, in our current meta for the free versus free environment, if you will. We do have the typical setup of a damage dealer, staller class, and then, of course, finally a saver type class. And we'll see how both of these teams will start things off. For Bad Intentions, I expect, of course, Ryuki or Tenna to be the first ones to go out, whereas for Team Slackers, it will be Kelly, QQ, or Jiro. You never really want your saver to be the starter. In this case, for both teams, the Blade Master with that Wing Protector. So we'll find out too, Barney, but definitely excited for this one.
As am I.
Oh, and it's going to be an actual rematch between Ryuki and Jiro here, and we'll see if Jiro can do a better job. Ice Guard is out, but the interception here will mean that Ryuki still makes it out for now, but that's already one potential problem for Team Slackers, as Jiro now will continue to be stunned up. Ryuki still executing beautifully here, and Tenna with a tag in manages to do some extra damage during that aerial, but the save coming in from the opposing team means that Jiro is still only at 75%. That Ice Guard should keep him safe for a while. Gets
the snipe
nice
with the Comet Strike!
The stun, but the Lotus will be used by Ryuki, escapes out of it, and now with a swap into Kelly Kuki, Ryuki still gets the stun, and the re-stealth should be safe for a while longer, and Kelly now, with the resistance timing out shortly, will still have some issues finding an opening here onto his opponent, but Ryuki gets the counter.
Attacking directly into a Dandelion several times now, actually. Very, very bad situation for Ryuki to be in.
And so far still, Ryuki keeping his calm. A lot of swaps available for both teams, and they're gonna try and find an opening or the tag in for that Wing Protector, as we've mentioned previously. So far, still Kelly on the defensive here. Ryuki forced to disengage for now. He does get the placement on that Lotus of Escape once again. We'll try to find an opening, but Ali's coming in. Kelly still managing to hold his own in this neutral game.
Tagging into Tenna is probably a good choice here. Without the Pedal Storm up, you can do a hell of a lot of damage, but Jiro, he's safe from Jiro.
We'll keep him safe for a while, but as you mentioned, now with the swap for Tenna, gets the days off and could go in for the leech, actually, as Kelly is going to drop down to 30% and will have some trouble getting back into it, but the sustain will be there. Luki actually going back in very aggressively. Time Warp does come out, but Kelly pieces out of it. Will be forced to swap out in 11 seconds. So we'll see what Kelly is able to do here, as Tenna still trying to find something here. 41%, 3 seconds left. Kelly will be swapped out, and now Jiro coming back in. Will try to follow it up. Block will be there by Tenna. Tries to dodge that triple kick. Jiro Not really managing to get that one, but gets the stun into the air launch. And now, with the tab in, Tenna will drop extremely low, 22%, forced to tag out. And now Ryuki coming back in, nice dodge on the flying slam, will get the stun off, forcing that second win out of Jiro. And he even gets caught now, will actually just say, nope, out of there, don't want to deal with that. Enel now coming in, will be launched up, and Tenna tagging in, tries to do as much damage during that aerial. That is the Warlock's time to shine here in this 3 versus 3 setup. And now Enel still at 50%.
The second
having
win
the best of them.
Out.
But the fall is good for Enel. Damage will force that tab escape for the assassin here. Ryuki still managing to disengage. Will swap back into Luki as Kelly will be the one to face off against him. But with the sustain coming in for the summoner, means that he's already back up at 71%. And now Luki going in for that block. Hongmoon block will be able to do a lot of damage, dropping his opponent down to 15% HP before he's forced to tag out. And those tag outs will run out for a lot of these team members here as we go into our late game. Knockdown is good on the opposing KFM, and with the air launch, we'll see what Ryuki can do. Going in with the poison as well. Jiro at 30%. All of the members of Slackers now extremely low. Means that Team Bad Intentions should be looking poised to potentially get a win here.
It is important to note that both the Kung Fu Master and the Summoner both have very good sustain with their respective abilities. But Jiro now getting caught out and getting absolutely decimated by the Dragon Helix.
And Time Warp should be back up here for Tenna, so if needed, he's gonna pop it. And there it is, Time Warp coming out and all in it. And the help coming in from the side of Bad Intentions means that Enel should be done for, but no, still manages to stay alive for now, 80% HP left, and he's down and out. Kelly, the only standing member for Team Slackers, means that Luki is gonna be here to potentially finish the job. 100% HP left on this Blade Master, gets the KD, Petal Storm is down, but doesn't matter. Dragon Tongue damage, just too good, and with the air launch, Bad Intentions does it.
Oh, Kelly, that was so... That must feel really bad to be in that situation where you seem to have a fairly good lead at the start, and then it all just comes crashing down with one assist from the Warlock. And still, it was very close, very hard fought from both sides. It looked like maybe the sustain from the side of Team Slackers might have kept them in the game a bit longer, but it seems that the notorious composition of Bad Intentions was much better at doing that.
And that's the one thing we've touched on briefly. In the current meta game of the 3 versus 3 environment, you generally have one typical damage class. In this case, the likes of the Summoner for Slackers with Kelly QQ, and Tenna as a Warlock, as demonstrated for us for the side of Bad Intentions. And the big thing is both of these comps are kind of built around them so that these two respective classes can do a lot of air damage and just overall a lot of burst. And on top of that, you add the two respective Blade Masters with that potential save with a Hongmoon block in their respective winged protectors. So you have that be similar to both of these teams. Generally, it's preferred to have a Blade Dancer compared to a BM just because they can also play more aggressive on top of having that Maelstrom, Hongmoon Maelstrom variant. But again, to round it all out, having this difference of KFM and Sin than as Stallers, Barney, do you think that's the big decider here for this match, or that has been the big decider here?
Definitely Ryuki stalling as long as he has done is definitely keeping them in for longer than it would do otherwise, with the stealth mechanics, with the party decoy as well, guaranteeing a resist if someone hits into it. Also, as an additional means of saving a teammate, it can definitely help. The Kung Fu Master's stall is more selfish than that of an assassin. Frost Sheath only or rather Ice Guard, only affects the Kung Fu Master themselves. But we will have to see how it pans out between Enel and Tenna now.
And it is going to be a Warlock v Blade Master matchup, as Tenna will have that Brawl already up and running, and all strafing in, trying to do something, but gets launched up into the air for now. Tenna getting the best of him, dropping him already to 32%, and with that, Enel is in big trouble, but should have the defensive to keep him alive for a little while, as second win is out of question. And Tenna now with the time warp means that Enel is gonna go down here with 10% remaining. I can't see how he can come back, and that is gonna be a very clean, very decisive victory for Tenna.
My God, what is this class? That was so much damage, all in the span of a few seconds, and all without time distortion afterwards. It was very, very smart of Tenna to hold on to that, abusing the paralyze from Leech midair in order to guarantee the follow-up CC. Unfortunate for Enel, perhaps not tabbing as early as he should have off of the imprisoned days. In that scenario, there's not really a right time to tab, because when the time distortion comes out, unless you have some method of avoiding 4 imprisons in a row, you're probably going to get caught at least once. So definitely perhaps a disadvantageous position to be in. That match was played very well by Tenna. It also just hits hard as well when you've taken that much damage, you're at 20% health, the match has barely begun, and then you see time distortion.
It wasn't a good start, unfortunately, for Enel, but this does mean that our next 1v1 will be able to, for both of these teams, any member can partake in it, so we might see a rematch, potentially, of Kelly QQ versus Luki, or, from what I would expect, we're probably going to see Tenna on the side of Bad Intentions. But what do you expect for Slackers here, as they have to turn it around here and now?
It might be interesting to, from a more pragmatic position, it might be a good idea to put someone, maybe the Summoner, against... I would assume that they would put Tenna back in again after that dominating performance. So perhaps putting the Summoner in, who can stall quite well, or maybe giving Jiro a shot at it, with the reduced cooldown on Ice Guard as well, perhaps making a difference in this matchup. 24 seconds is quite a bit better than 36. But it could, who knows, maybe they'll pull something interesting, like a Blade Master mirror match. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I highly doubt that. It's most likely going to be Tenna versus X, and we'll see. It's probably not going to be Enel.
Most likely not, but we will find out shortly, as the match should be going on our way. And it is going to be, indeed, Tenna versus Kelly QQ here, coming up next. And Kelly probably going to be really determined here, as round will start. Sanctum is the choice for Tenna to start things off. And now Kelly will be caught up by some of that damage coming in from the Helix, but Tenna will be disengaging for now. Does not have the Trolla, finally gets the summon, and Kelly will be rooted, but Time Warp will be the choice for Tenna, playing very aggressive here, but gets the leech into the aerial, and Kelly already at 24% HP will be able to run away for now, but Tenna says no, stops him with the Tether Blade, and makes sure he has no escape, and with that, oh man, Tenna just... I think at this point, looking unstoppable today.
Somebody stop this, man. This is... these matches are just so incredibly quick. Admittedly, not as dominating as perhaps versus Enel. He actually had to use the time distortion to force out an escape from Kelly. However, with the amount of tools that the Warlock has remaining afterwards, indeed he forced out his escape on, I believe, the second or third imprison, and time distortion ticks 4 times, so all he had to do was walk up and launch him into the air one more time to finish him off for good. So definitely looking like Team Intentions is in the lead, quite, with a good show of force.
Oh yeah, definitely. And for Bad Intentions, all they need is just one more victory here, as they managed to gather 5 points in total. And coming up next, we will have another 3 versus 3 match. And this is obviously going to be Team Slacker's final chance at bringing it all back, as the last 2 potential sets here will be both 3 versus 3. So if Team Slackers somehow get a winning strategy, winning game plan into the next 2 3 versus 3 sets, they can actually still win. So they're not out of it just yet, but Bad Intentions are definitely going to be looking to close it out here.
It is a very steep hill that they must overcome in order to win. Breaking even at this point would be fairly challenging. Hopefully they will have adapted a few new strategies from their first 3v3, perhaps prioritizing their abilities, perhaps using their tag-ins more aggressively rather than defensively, maybe trying to force Bad Intentions to do the opposite. If they need to come in to save a teammate, then they obviously do not get to utilize that as much. As you mentioned before, were it, say, a Blade Dancer who can use Maelstrom, and that gives 2 guaranteed seconds of invulnerability, then they can use that to jump on them. Alas, they don't quite have that. Well, they actually do, but I don't think either Blade Master is going to go for that variant of the tree. It's a longer cooldown than Wing Protector, and it also doesn't remove debuffs or make the player untargetable. That is your ally, not the Blade Master themselves. So definitely more utility in that regards. We might see it be used potentially, maybe on the side of Slackers from Enel, because the guaranteed few seconds of invulnerability work much better against a time distortion, for instance, than the limited 3 resists that you get from Wing Protector, and then it's gone.
And so, just as an overall setup here, Barney, just imagine how hype it would be for Slackers to actually bring it back in these last 2 3 versus 3. Not only because it would be just amazing to watch, and I would just love to go all the way, the whole distance into the final set. It's bad. They're up against Bad Intentions after all. Bad Intentions, this team is one of the teams here for EU, at the very least, that most players expect to go far, potentially even at Worlds. So we wouldn't be too surprised if Bad Intentions get a win here today, but we definitely have exceptional players, more than, or rather besides the ones of the likes of Bad Intentions. So we'll see which ones will come out on top, as the round will be starting up shortly. Once again, this could be very well the final set between these 2 teams, as Ryuki will be the starter for Bad Intentions, and on the side of Slackers, it is going to be Jiro on that KFM. Ice Guard will be popped but wasted here for the KFM. Ryuki, nice follow-up, tries to go for the Lightning Strike even, and with the stun, air launch already dropping Jiro down to 50% HP, prompting the tag-ins by both of the respective team members. And now with the Rising Dragon, he will be able to launch his opponent up into the air, and with Kelly coming in, trying to do a lot of damage, managed to do so, 29% already on Ryuki.
Ooh, it actually does look like he went for the alternative version of Wing Protector, Sword Shroud. The effect was very different, and does seem to have actually worked slightly in their favor, but now Ryuki is still substantially lower. The bees from Kelly doing work. Now Enel
but the
has come
time
in.
warp actually is gonna already be used, healing Ryuki up already. This is one of the big things here for Bad Intentions compositions. They haven't shied away from thinking of this particular options, and this is the one big thing that I was very fearful of for the likes of Team Slackers. I like the fact that Jiro tagged out as soon as he used his second win, but since Enel is in, means that there is no typical savior class for the side of Slackers. But now Ryuki is going to be launched up into the air, and this could be really dangerous. But Luki coming in with the save will also
Luki
drop
himself getting blown up.
Oh my god, Team Slackers might have just done it, as they have a huge advantage over their opponents. And now Ryuki able to gain some of that HP back, but this is not looking good for Bad Intentions.
Here comes 100 health tenor. This could
that
be
is a
very
scary
bad.
prospect,
Oh,
but
no!
just instantly blows his opponent away. Just destroyed it. Now Kelly coming in, already taking in huge punishment, and it was looking so good for Slackers. Now Tenna, just as said, an absolute monster. Somebody stop this guy, as he's just ruthless, continuing on to put so much pressure on the side of Slackers, but Slackers not out of it just yet. If Kelly can sustain and do a proper setup, maybe, just maybe, they could take one of the team members of Bad Intentions down to equalize the field here. And oh man, Barty, that was explosive to say the least.
That was very unfortunate. Enel has 2 tag outs and 2 assists left. Very unfortunate. The Searing Slash chunking Kelly out. Huge damage from the Dragon Tongue as well. Is forced to tag out. And now they really are looking to be in a bad position. Jiro as well got his guard cancelled by Boot. Ay, ay, ay.
At this point, as said, Bad Intentions getting a potential win here will mean that they are the victors of the whole series, managing to get into the grand finals. But still, Kelly should be able to sustain back up at least just ever so slightly. And Jiro now trying to get a kill onto Luki, might potentially be able to do it, but Ryuki can come in for that assist. We'll see if he will prompt to use it. With the Hong Moon block being available, as well as the second win, Luki might not need that help as he gets the stun. Dragon Tongue might be able to do quite a lot of damage, but gets knocked down by the Searing Palm.
Saves Jiro.
Oh, but the strays, the smooth moves coming in for Luki meets that Jiro will be dropping out. Kelly QQ, last member of Team Slackers, will be able to sustain as said. Fellow Storm is out, but Tenna might even have that Time Lord backup. Pops to Sanctum. Brawl is out, ready to play, and Kelly running for his life here as the Brawl will actually go for the familiar, killing Kelly QQ's cat. Tenna at this point just making
Toying
a statement
with his food. Oh no.
Wow. With that, Bad Intentions will be your winner here, advancing to the grand finals. And oh man, it was so close. Slackers were looking so good, Barney. So
Again,
good.
Like in the first 3v3, it looked to be a phenomenal start. Like they had a very, very strong opening with the assist coming in from Kelly QQ, the bees doing lots and lots of damage. But even though they did force out defensive assists from the side of Bad Intentions, they were still able to take them down in a solo effort. So the assists were not even necessary from an offensive standpoint, though they did do that towards the end anyway, with Ryuki coming in, a single set landmine being thrown at Jiro, instantly wiping him away. That flicker from Luki, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. Stylish.
Oh, yeah. And that's it. It's like we've previously mentioned, Tenna at that point just toying with Kelly QQ, as if you watch his streams, we all know how much Tenna loves summoners, in particular Cymex, of course.
Oh yeah, his bestie.
And, oh yeah, total bestie. And as a result, as said, it will be Bad Intentions advancing, but it's not over just yet. For the likes of Slackers, they will be dropping down to the losers bracket. And remember, this is a double elimination format for the tournament, and we'll see if they can bring it back and get a potential rematch, because they've at the very least been looking better and better with their second 3 versus 3 round in there.
They're not ones to give up easily, and after suffering defeat in quite like that, I do think that they will try to create some very unique strategies, perhaps. Indeed, it did seem that whenever Kelly was assisting, he was going for the bees and then switching back to Sunflower whenever he came back in. Maybe this time he'll stay with the bees and pull a Tenna, as we shall now call it.
All right.
So
we will find out shortly.
They are still in it.
But in the meantime, if we have a quick look at the brackets, the one big potential upset team here could definitely very well be Legion Esports, as they have a very scary lineup themselves with Areas as their respective Warlock, not to mention KFM here once again for them, as you definitely were very vocal about how scary you think they can actually be.
Yeah, so, with the recent changes to KFM, I definitely think that they are in a much better position than they were before. Rather, as I mentioned, the Ice Guard cooldown being lowered from 36 seconds to 24 is a huge boon to them, as well as the increased area of effect. This is most specifically aimed at stealth matchups, mostly assassin, and with their new skill Gale Fist, they can definitely be in perhaps even a favorable matchup against assassins now. Although, as we have already seen with Jiro and Ryuki, skills are skills, but the skills of the player are what really matter. So we shall definitely see.
And of course, it doesn't yet mean that they will be their respective opponents, since they have to first beat the team of Ugly Intentions before they can proceed towards their respective lower bracket semifinals. And on the side of Ugly Intentions, with the very famous or infamous, if you will, player like Cymax, like the likes of, I believe, Mr. B and Empathy on their end, it will be a very interesting team to look out for if they will manage to get a victory over Legion Esports. So that's going to be very, very exciting to see. But in the meantime, we'll be moving on to a very short video break. So don't go anywhere. We have a lot more exciting Blade and Soul action waiting for you here in line. So stay tuned. And welcome back, everyone, to the Season 1 Blade and Soul European Invitational. And coming up next, it will be Team Ugly Intentions up against Slackers. Unfortunately for Legion Esports, even though we started hyping them up, they did fall short to the side of Ugly Intentions. And Barney, if I had to describe Ugly Intentions, I think they'd be, if you think of a teenage movie, they'd be like the bad boy, you know, the bad boy side compared to Bad Intentions, where all of them being, of course, just infamous players as well as just exceptional players, will mean that they will have a Destroyer, Blade Dancer, and Summoner lineup with Mr. Dude, Not Empathy, and Cymax.
I mean, just looking at that team composition, 3v3s are going to be just disgusting. Absolutely vile. 2 grabs they can use with the gimmick of restraint. The restraint skills just one-shot people. If you hold them in place for a mere 2 or 3 seconds, they're done for. They're donezo. You need to escape from that. And if they've already used their escape, well, Mr. Doot is going to do all over your dead corpse. So...
And we'll see what they'll bring up here. Coming up next, it will be a 1v1, of course. We might see Kelly QQ start things off once again for the likes of Slackers. But for Ugly Intentions, do you think we'll have a Summoner mirror matchup on our hands?
I mean, Summoner is already pretty vile to play against. I'm fairly certain even Summoners don't want to place other Summoners. So if they do, it will be very interesting, but it might be a very, very long match.
We'll see what we have in store, of course, as both teams still have a little bit of time left to decide and lock in their choices, as first round should be on our way soon enough. And it's going to be Blade Dancer versus Blade Master. And Empathy coming up versus Enel. We're looking to see which one gets the opener here. And the KD off of the Soaring Falcon will be good. And now Empathy getting a huge advantage. Ethan chooses to draw here, but Hongmoon block with that available for Enel will keep him safe for an extra while. And now, with the damage coming in, Empathy could have been in big trouble, but the air launch is good, making Empathy in a potential advantage here. Putting him in a follow-up with the 5-point strike means that Enel will be kept up for a while longer, dropping down to 45%.
He's just keeping him down here relentlessly, throwing him away before he manages to use the Flock of Blades, and then the Lightning Draw as well, forcing out a Tab Escape yet again from Enel. Empathy will have his back shortly, and now both players mostly stalling for time. Now that Empathy has his back, he can abandon all caution.
Oh, but gets the follow-up KD, and now Enel's in big trouble as Empathy is going to be looking to finish things off here. Enel really, really low, but not out of it just yet. Needs to buy some extra time here as Empathy is just looking to close it off here. Tab Escape, second win, still not good to go for Enel. So if Empathy gets one more opener, this could be it, and he gets it. Now launching him up into the air and getting his team the first point on the board.
Oh, Enel. How do you get deflected as a Blade Master? That's so unfortunate. There were some interesting choices in that matchup. The opener was fairly standard for the Blade Dancer, hoping to get the unblockable Soaring Falcon knockdown into the Windwalk skill, Flying Sparrow, to get a stun on him. But luckily, the ground counter was able to avoid that. Not able to avoid everything that followed. And Enel actually, usually when you choose Soaring Falcon in this matchup for the Blade Master side, you would choose the Day's Pull. It has a substantially shorter cooldown, and it also pierces Deflect. It generally allows for more openings, but in this matchup, Enel kept the Stun instead, which is a minute-long cooldown. Perhaps if he had gone for the other one, he would have found more opportunities to attack Blade Dancer, but instead what ended up happening was Empathy managed to stall as long as he needed to in order to get his escape back, and after that, caution to the wind and just go ham. And he did.
Oh yeah, and he definitely, most assuredly did. And it kind of reminds me of what we've seen with Tenna, and just as a quick mention towards that, Tenna himself told me that the more pressure he gets, the better he plays. So if they qualify for Worlds, maybe he's gonna 1v3 his opponents.
I mean, that would certainly be really cool to see. And having such, the main takeaway from all of this is that we have so many strong contenders in EU. Any one of them, any one of these teams, any one of these players, perhaps even, could go on and have an absolutely magnificent showing at Worlds. Fills me heart with hope. So we shall see who the reigning champions are within our own region, and after that, we shall send them off to face the real challenge.
Oh yeah, and since Enel and Empathy are now not an option anymore for both respective teams, we'll be getting into the second round. It is going to be once again another 1 versus 1 matchup, and it is Mr. Dude versus Kelly QQ. Summoner versus Destroyer.
His name just reminds me of Pingu for some reason, but that might just be me. And already the escape forced out from Mr. Dude. But now we're inside the Ember Storm, very safe.
Gets the grab, now drops him off. Kelly already dropping to 50%. Mr. Dude in a big advantage already. Just looking very much so poised to get a win here. Another one on the board for the side of Ugly Intentions now.
Oh, the deflect!
He's just trying to get it and gets the deflect fall up and now just absolutely annihilates Kelly.
Oh. What happened? I blinked and it's over.
Just
Ugly Intentions. Yeah, Ugly deflects more like. Jeez. How do you get so lucky? Or is it all skill?
That's the real question. And
that's the real question.
But still, Mr. Duped, and overall, so far, Ugly Intentions looking absolutely terrifying to face up against. And not too surprised now that they managed to get a victory over Legion Esports. So once again, this does mean that Ugly Intentions will have a 2-0 point lead. And the first team to reach 6 points wins the overall match. So with that being said, we will be moving on to the first 3 versus 3 setup. And having seen the 1v1s, Barney, what do you think we'll have in store for 3 versus 3?
I mean, you could be that guy that's like, oh, I'm rooting for the underdogs. But after witnessing that, can you really root for the underdogs, Team Slackers in this case? That was, I mean, more to the point, like in that very last match, when the second win was already blown for Mr. Dude. And you might think, if it were any other class, you'd think, yeah, that's fine. I've now got his escape. All I need is another opening. But that's not how that is, because he still has that second escape in persistence, making him that much more dangerous. Additionally, because the way in which this player in particular has historically used persistence, he's very... You really can't predict when he's going to use it. You might think, okay, well, I'm going to do a lot of damage to him, and then he's going to get scared, and then he's going to use it. No, he could use it off of the most like benign thing. You stun him and don't even get to do anything, and he's already used blue buff, and he doesn't need to fish for deflects in that case. He just uses Stone Shield, instantly stuns you, can't do anything about it because it's unblockable as well, and that automatically opens you up to a world of pain. He didn't even need persistence in there. He just destroyed him anyway.
Nope. And one of the big scary factors here in the 3 versus 3 matchup, I think, for Slackers is the fact that, just as you mentioned, Mr. Dude is not afraid to just use his CC breaks and just make sure he plays very aggressive and stalls as much as possible in that 3 versus 3 environment. And that's going to be very terrifying for Slackers. But on the other hand, Cymex has been traditionally a exceptional 1v1 player when it comes to playing that summoner class, and in 3 versus 3 he hasn't shown as much promise yet. So if there is a weakness in this lineup, I think they're gonna find it potentially in Cymex.
Well, with the Destroyer changes as well to Stone Shield, there's another escape that he can use to save his teammates. We'll have to see. It is Jiro versus Mr. Dude in the beginning.
Interesting, as Jiro now will try his luck at this respective matchup, but the follow-up is good for Mr. Dude as he gets the stun already, making sure Jiro drops to 75%, forced to use his second wind, and as a result swaps out for Anil, and that's not something you want to start things off here.
Pulled him in instantly. There's the persistence straight away into the knee. Anil, you're not doing anything, but why? There's the Stone Shield I was mentioning, keeping Mr. Dude safe for the next 5 seconds, very much like Frost Sheath. Exactly like Frost Sheath.
And things are already looking up for the side of Ugly Intentions, and Mr. Dude gets another good follow-up and just single-handedly so far handling the side of Slackers. And now with the intervention coming in from Manol, he's gonna look to do something here, but Mr. Dude still safe for now, as Kelly is gonna try and hunt him down. We'll have that sustain available, and Mr. Dude just gonna swap out Empathy. Now the choice tries to go in, but Stealth gets procced, was available, but gets the air launch, does have the Guardian Tempest up to keep him safe from that kitty, and now with the lightning draw being popped, could potentially do a lot of damage, but decides to disengage, plays it safe, doesn't want to overextend for now.
The iframe from Kelly keeping him safe as well. But now it's over, and it's back to a more neutral game. Empathy probably looking for an opening, maybe stalling for lightning draw once again to get that big burst damage that could definitely sway this particular matchup in his favor.
And it's just 11 seconds left on set cooldown as the tag-in will be available for the side of Slackers. And with that, Mr. Dude will come in with the Stone Shield, keep his teammates safe. But now Kelly QQ being launched up into the air is going to absolutely get disintegrated by Cymex as well. Well, that was... I did mention him being potentially a bit underwhelming in Freeze, now proving me completely wrong. Coming in big here for the side of Ugly Intentions.
I mean, if that's underwhelming, I don't want to see him when he's whelming.
Oh yeah, but it's still not over yet, as Slackers could potentially somehow make a comeback. It is a daunting task, however, as just Ugly Intentions having so much of an advantage here. We'll have the assistance coming in on both sides. Now Jiro actually being the swap. Lightning drop.
Oh, and he has no second win.
But no second win means actually Mr. Dude's just going to pop resistance and going to go in, trying to do something here. But the Ice Guard will keep the KFM safe. Also, getting the root off onto Mr. Dude. Will have that spin to win to get out of it, however. Now Jiro trying to find an opening. Good follow-up, but Mr. Dude gets a fall above his own, and the interventions coming in on both sides will equalize things just a bit, but never mind. I spoke too soon. Jiro
Mr. Dude has no escapes.
But Mr. Dude, no escapes.
Off the rule.
But Anil still 30%, really low as well, and very healthy health bars on the side of Ugly Intentions. Now with the Stone Shield being out means that Mr. Dude is going to be healed up just ever so slightly. 9 seconds left on that tab escape for Mr. Dude. And with that gust coming up means that he's going to be able to play very aggressive. Second win still on cooldown for Anil, but he finds an opening. And with that, Mr. Dude will be tagged out in 6 seconds, even if he doesn't choose to go for it just yet. Now 21% HP left for Anil, and this is not looking good.
But he tags out after using it immediately to guarantee him that. But Anil, he just gets blown up by the Sunflower. It was so close towards the end there. He was holding on for dear life.
And as said, Ugly Intentions living up to their name, the Bad Boys. Even Mr. Dude there at the end having a style moment, you know, expressing his definite confidence coming into this one. And with that, Ugly Intentions already up 4 points.
4 points to none so soon. Looking very dominant, looking quite bad for Slackers. And they don't... And this isn't even factoring in Ugly Intentions. They're not using the gimmick. They are playing all... Well, I struggle to use the word legitimately because it's all technically legit, but without having to use the gimmick of restraint and just almost treating it like 1v1s, except in those rare cases where they need an assist. Mr. Dude soloing the entirety of Team Slackers for the first part of that 3v3, completely unfazed by anything they threw their way. And I especially love that version of Stone Shield where he heals up ever so slightly, but you don't break the shield, and suddenly ever so slightly becomes, oh dear.
Definitely. And with that, we'll see what Slackers have up their sleeve, as they need to start their comeback now, because
they definitely
at this point they have 2 more 1v1s, which have so far proven to be really bad for them. And if Team Bad Intentions get the next 2 wins, they get the overall match wins. So again, for our next one, it will be Cymex versus Jiro, I believe. So it is going to be KFM versus Summoner. And taking that into consideration, what do you think will be the key thing here for Jiro to make sure he gets that turnaround?
Well, Jiro, usually people would say that this is in favor of the KFM slightly. With the amount of ways that the Kung Fu Master can gain agility, it does seem quite easy for them to maybe run around a bit. As long as Jiro doesn't go for perhaps the regular counter skill, which can be guard broken, and of course defense canceling and defense penetrating skills ignore evasion completely. So if he doesn't go for that and he has agility, then that's 6 seconds that he doesn't need to worry about the cat CCing him mid-combo. Indeed, the Ice Guard can do much the same. The Ice Guard could be used offensively in order to perhaps reveal Cymex if, say, he gets an early escape out of him. Additionally, it could just be used to remove the block approach skill effect in order to use stuff like Flying Slam or Flurry and the like, but we shall see how it pans out.
Indeed, as the match will start out, Jiro, of course, will be the one facing off against Cymex on that Summoner, as so far, things are looking on the up and up for Cymex here, now trying to get something done on the opposition. Does have the resist up and available, will shortly time out. And now with the Flying Slam, it will actually manage to connect Jiro, looking for an opening, but gets knocked down by the Familiar, trying to get some iframes out of those strafes, gets the counter for now, but still does have the second win up and available. The escape on the side of Cymex is up and running too, in case he needs it. But so far, during this neutral game, pretty much equalized so far for the most part.
Oh, I think I spy an interesting build coming out of Jiro here. That Searing Palm is the PvE variant, but he might not get to use it too much.
Because Cymex just has other plans in mind, already dropping him down to 9% as he continues to hunt him down. But the flurry coming in will try to get something done. But Cymex, man,
that was
oh man, I don't even have any words. Just Cymex, I kind of doubted him for a second there, but definitely no doubts anymore at this point.
The weakling, you said.
I said the potential weakness, and if that's your weakness, then you're looking pretty damn fine, I'd say.
This is like reverse Caster's Curse. He won't do that well. Proceeds to obliterate his opponent entirely. Proceeds to have a dominating show in the 3v3. Yeah, no, it's fine. I didn't want to be right anyway. It's not like this is a thing that I'm supposed to do. But dare I say that I saw interesting things there from Jiro. He obviously didn't opt for the regular counter scale, which I do agree with that. It did seem like he was using the fire build. I saw a Tiger Strike in there, and especially seeing the minute-long cooldown on Searing Palm means that he was using the stacking Searing Palm. I can only assume that the Comet Strike was the insane damage one as well. Perhaps he was looking for the fabled 20k crit Comet Strike, but alas, he was unable to even begin. Well, he managed to get the first Searing Palm off, but after that, it didn't matter. Having used his second wind already, he got power pounced by the cat, and well,
but it's not over just yet. Even with that being said, Slackers can still make it out. However, it's looking very unlikely at this point. And of course, if you want to keep up with all of the Blade and Soul esports news, make sure to follow BNS Esports on Twitter. Of course, once again, as we will also be having the North American Invitational later. And of course, very excited about the EU wildcard tournament in July. So once again, teams are getting ready. What very well could be the final round of this match. And Jiro will be facing off against Mr. Dude as round will start, and already getting those strafes in as Mr. Dude doesn't quite yet get the follow-up, gets it, however, with the catch on the axe road with the stun now, makes sure that Jiro is going to be able to drop that to 69%, but Ember Stomp will be used. Flying Slam, not going to connect, and now
that's a fantastic backstep on that Flying Slam, but he catches a mid-counter animation. This is looking very bad, but both players still have their second escape. Persistence used very aggressively. Now with the Rising Dragon stun coming in, lots of damage into a good launch. We'll see how Jiro can transition this.
Ooh, but the Tremor did prompt out that Gust or Tab escape from Mr. Dude, and now getting the stun off means that Jiro could be in big trouble. Does have that second win still available, however. And now with the grapple, is going to go ahead and use it off of it, and it's his time to shine. He needs to get an advantage. Gets the air launch now. Searing Palm will be used, but the Typhoon will be the follow-up for Mr. Dude as the Ice Guard getting now popped means that Jiro will be able to stay safe for a while longer, but the axe throw is going to connect, and with that, Jiro might go down here. Mr.
The Searing Palm saves him briefly, but is it enough? It just might be.
This is very unlikely, but Jiro, if he can do this, this is going to be absolutely insane. Now gets cut off, but no, still alive. Never mind, as he continues to spin, but the Ice Guard, once again, keeping his safe second win, is up and ready for Jiro as he tries to get a follow-up, and now Mr. Dude dropping extremely low. Jiro, can he do it? The Madman still now for now at least, safe as Mr. Dude
dear life
is slowly running out of options. Now goes for the Typhoon. Jiro still having that second win means
1 minute on the clock.
Be still safe. And now with the Ice Guard being popped, he gets the KD.
The Searing Palm.
Is it there? It's there.
Stun.
And with that, is it going to be enough? Gets the launch. And now Jiro getting oh so close to getting to amazing turnaround. But the Rising Dragon with the heal, with the stun, he gets it.
He did it.
Jiro does it. Gets the upset win.
Oh. Oh. Okay, to quote a different player that we have already seen, what a madman. That was impeccable. I'm not sure if it was perhaps a misclick on Mr. Dude's part with the early aggressive persistence being used at the start of that match, but that was so intense, and Jiro knowing exactly how to play around the Destroyer matchup, knowing very well what his own skills do. He knew that he wouldn't stun him with the Rising Dragon, but he used it anyway because it does still heal him for 10% of his max health. That kept him in just long enough, and he managed to beautifully avoid and predict the tab escapes from Mr. Dude, strafing them, gaining access to Firestorm Kick, which doesn't care if you're knocked down or not. You can still use it on your opponent regardless. And as soon as he saw the second win was used, he knows that persistence still isn't up. Tremor, death.
And that was beautiful
so
execution.
Well played.
And not only that, keeping your calm in such a stressful environment and making sure you have the execution down is just always very impressive to see. Of course, on the side of Mr. Dude, maybe a bit too confident there, but have a lot of room to play with. Now we will be moving on to our second 3 versus 3 set for these two respective teams, and Slackers are not out of it just yet. They keep the dream alive. If they win this next 2 3 versus 3 matches or sets rather, they get the win. So that's just absolutely insane, and maybe, just maybe, they can come up with a winning strategy. Even though Ugly Intentions, if they keep their cool, their calm, I would expect to take it home. Take it home here.
Well, this is certainly, even though that was a fantastic match, and I certainly have to applaud Jiro for that outstanding play. It's still 5-1. They still need to. They still desperately need to win both this next 3v3, possibly another 3v3 after it, and also a 1v1, I believe, in order to win.
The second 3v3 afterwards, if they manage to win the next one, awards each team, or the winning team rather, 3 points. So we will.
So they do have a chance.
Yes,
then
they do have a chance.
It is still rather slim. It was very recent.
And as you can see, a lot of it is on the line here for these teams. A lot of prize money, as well as those very precious fighting points for that regional tournament qualification. So both teams will be getting ready once again, as you can see on your screen. Definitely both of these squads will be having their eyes on the prize. And as said, Slackers, they're still in it, not out of it just yet, but they have a really steep hill to climb, as Ugly Intentions, not going to be an easy feat to come up against.
But the prize, the potential for Dosh is a good motivator, I think. And Jiro versus Mr. Dude, a possible rematch start here. The Ice Guard to deny the opener there.
And already popping that Typhoon. We'll see Mr. Dude try to do something off of it, but doesn't connect with the Axe Throw this time around. We'll be using that Stone Shield. Flying Slam will prompt its proc. As we mentioned before, the party variant is the choice here for the 3 versus 3 matchup, but the Ember Stomp was down, and now with the pull, with the grab rather, and will prompt the freeze out of Jiro, keeping it safe for an extra while, but now it's going to be forced to use that second win with the tag in, and with that, Jiro pieces out, swaps in for Kelly, as Kelly will be looking to have a better time against Mr. Dude. Definitely without that second win, Jiro does not want to stay in, but Mr. Dude already going in, doing quite a lot of damage.
Sustain. Oh, here comes the mirror match, the vile one.
But the help coming in on both sides means that Kelly's going to drop to 57%. Cymex still will be safe for now, as he's very much healthy. 91% left for him. The sustain will be there. Petal Storm was used by Cymex, I believe. And now Kelly, with that sustain, will be getting back to around 73% HP. But both of these team members will be tagging out shortly. I would expect Jiro already being in for Kelly QQ, as he will be going in, gets the stun. Cymex, however, still safe for now. Ice Guard will be procced.
Ooh, the Ice Guard actually procs the party variant of Sea Shroud. Very nice there.
Ooh, and with the grapple, it's actually going to prompt Jiro to use a second win, and as a result, needs to swap out for Enel. And Enel won't be there to get that save potentially now. And with the Dragon Tongue, he's looking for a lot of damage. Actually manages to drop Cymex to 51%, but the party save here for the likes of Ugly Intentions will be available through Mr. Dude to Stone Shield. And now Cymex actually getting absolutely obliterated, but manages to stay alive and tab out in the nick of time. But still, things are not looking good for Ugly Intentions.
Huge damage here.
Jiro coming
the ground counter denies the lightning draw.
Jiro already forced to use the second win, does have the Rising Dragon, and now with the stun, will launch his opponent up into the air. No second win available, but the help is there, means that Jiro will potentially have a few issues, but the guard will be used. 5-point strike was the follow-up there, I believe, and now with the tag in coming in for the side of Slackers, maybe, just maybe, they can still get the win here. Mr. Dude was swapped back in, tries to go for the fall, doesn't get it quite yet, and the stomp was used. Jiro now will be able to stay safe for now and gets the deflect, and with that second win will be used by Jiro, and with the tag in, this is not looking good.
Jiro, no! Oh, he's alive!
1%
no, he
alive,
isn't.
but not any longer, as the beautiful tag in will be enough for Mr. Dude.
They answer back with the crit from the Searing Slash. Massive damage, but Mr. Dude, he's like, nah, I can do this as well. They always get a good lead, but they can never seem to keep it. And now a 2v3 situation.
Unfortunately for Ugly Intentions, with that, Cymex did have enough time to get a bit of sustain back up and make sure he is still healthy if he needs to go back in. And with that, things are not looking good for Slackers, as Empathy now with that Guardian Tempest will manage to stay healthy, and with the draw coming in, second win will be prompted out of Enel, and he does get to tag out just in the nick of time, dodging that Phantom Grip, but second win still available for the Blade Dancer. Empathy will be launched up into the air, but still, this is not looking good for Kelly and the rest of his team, as Cymex will swap back in. Some other matchup is back up and online, and with that, I just can't see how Slackers can bring it back.
It's gonna be rough. There's lots of pressure on Kelly, because the next time Enel comes in, he can't come out for another 2 minutes. The amount of tag outs being reduced very heavily in this match now. There are still a few assists on the side of Ugly Intentions, so they are at an advantage. The escape just then coming out of Kelly, but he knows he has to stay in for Enel's sake, because he also has an assist that he could use to help him.
But he just needs an opening, as so far he's going to be able to stay healthy. Cymex already at 66%. And this is the problem you face when you get to late game, as other team members of the side of Bad Intentions not only can tag in, but they will get some of those opportunities refunded to them over time. So now not Empathy coming back in, making sure he makes Kelly's life miserable, as so far gets the air launch, but can he get anything else done? Kelly dropping down to 41%. Draw is there, and this might just be it, but gets the save into take a time.
Timely escape.
The problem is, Slackers just have 9 seconds left until Enel is forced to go in, so Kelly just needs to get as much HP as possible here, potentially, but Enel going in for a very short time will be swapped back in now, and again, they're trying their damnedest, but Bad Intentions definitely looking poised to close it off here.
This is looking very rough. No member now on the side of Ugly Intentions can tag out of their own volition. They have to wait it out, which could be good. Kelly does still have his own tag out, but in all now, gonna get set up on with the lightning draw. Looking quite bad here for him. The amount of health he's at and the lack of good resists. And there's his escape as well.
Oh, and without the escape, with the grip, even with the flock of blades coming in, it's not going to keep him safe for any more time, as Kelly is going to be the final member of Slackers Inc., trying desperately to keep the dream alive for them. But Empathy now still in, might be having his eyes on the prize, but 12 seconds left for him means that someone else might come in and finish the job. Of course, 3 minutes.
Oh, the lightning draw misses left. Actually.
But even with that, Kelly drops down to 41%. Empathy is going to be forced to tag out, and Mr. Dude is the one to come in. And with the Ember Stomp, with the grapple, this should be it. Kelly, 24%. Gets
he does still have the escape,
to the ground. And with that, 3% still alive for now, but Mr. Dude.
BM! Oh! Yeah, I'm just gonna let my Ember Stomp tick kill you off while I'm just gonna casually repair my weapon over here. Don't mind me, Newt.
Just brutal.
The dream.
Brutal.
The dream.
And still, even with that being said, exceptionally well played by the side of Ugly Intentions means that they will manage to advance further to face off against Ugly Intentions. Bad Intentions, sorry. Ugly Intentions up versus Bad Intentions. So that won't be confusing at all, as I'm well aware. Of course, a lot of the EU teams have adopted really similar names. Unfortunately for us casters, it is gonna be a bit of a nightmare to call out every time. However, with that being said, still overall well played by Slackers, making all the way through their bracket till here, the very end. And we'll see what they can do in the future, as so far, I have no idea who's going to be the victor here today, Barney.
I also don't know. With the way that these two teams, I mean, the comparison point is Team Slackers for both of these, because Team Slackers has faced off against both Bad and Ugly Intentions. They both seem to be incredibly strong with their own specific weaknesses. I definitely think that Ugly Intentions, the team that you just saw, has the strongest stalling potential with the Destroyer shield, both for himself and for the team. Blade Dancer being Blade Dancer, having as many iframes as they do, and the sustain from the Summoner, they are prepped for these long drawn out battles of attrition. That being said, it does only take one aerial launch pretty much to completely obliterate you, no pun intended. So
oh yeah, and we'll see how that one will turn out. Of course, having another quick look at the prize pool, a lot of it is on the line here for all the teams involved, but especially so for these two, as Bad Intentions still having the most fighting points for now. Ugly Intentions looking to turn the tides here and grab that first prize win.
There's new information. Apparently, Ugly Intentions actually forfeit that set because they used Repair Hammer.
So let it be a lesson for all you BMers out there, as
that's
confidence
rough,
is
that's rough.
Yeah, overconfidence is just going to come back to kick you in the butt. So make sure to have better manners next time, as unfortunately for them, it does mean that, as you mentioned, they will be forfeiting, and we will be moving to set 7 as a result. So never mind, Slackers. If they somehow win the last set, which will award them 3 points, they actually get the win.
So it does seem that they've been given a lifeline by Pingu himself. And hey, who knows? It might happen. It might happen. But I do just want to say that they have these top 3 teams have been playing so very well, both individually and as teams. They've shown that they definitely they all deserve to be where they are now and further down the line where they're going to be eventually. And I'm happy to have any one of these represent EU at Worlds.
And once again, just to clarify, because the format of the tournament for the semifinals and grand finals is a 7-set mix and match, these teams for that last set 6 win, the winner team will be getting 2 points, meaning that it will be going to a set 7, which will be awarding 3 points to close it all out. So 5 points available for the side of Bad Intentions, whereas Slackers will be having 3 points for themselves, means that whoever gets the next win, those final 3 points get the overall match win and move on to the grand finals. So, oh man, it's still possible. It's still possible.
It's something. It's going to be difficult, but with these top 3 teams that we have here, we really do have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been waiting several minutes to use that pun. Still, we shall see. Maybe Slackers will actually be able to pull it back. The lifeline they've been given, however unintentional, may end up seeing them through to a potential rematch. Although, unless they have changed a lot of things, I don't necessarily see the outcome being too different. Specifically, it doesn't seem like Enel has had much of a chance to shine, even though he has come this far. So clearly he is deserving to be here. It is just unfortunate that for some reason, every time he wants to go and do something, he's just caught off guard completely. But we shall see if that does change. He has had his moments where he comes in with the split-second stun, searing slash, lunar slash, dealing 50% of the opponent's health in an instant. That if he continues to do that and maybe transitions this time into a better lead, if they can hold their lead, that will be the deciding factor, I think, this time.
And we will find out shortly who the starters for both respective teams will be, as of course last time it was Mr. Dude versus Jiro. So that might be the choice here once again, as they will be ready to go soon enough. And again, it will be the final set between Ugly Intentions and Slackers.
A very uninteresting opening for the time being, but he does catch you out with the drag and gets the tech chase with the knee. Mr. Dude, he is on point with those axe throws today. Jiro swapping out to Kelly, and Mr. Dude swapping out to Empathy, hoping for a pretty good start here. Now, launch into the air, Mr. Kelly being absolutely just chunked by the lightning draw. Looking to be in a very bad position, can't rightly tag out just yet, is looking for support from his teammates, and it does seem like Enel came in to assist him. Kelly trying, not actually wanting to tag out just yet, and it might be the death of him, and it is! Oh, what a huge mistake on his part. That was I'm not even sure what to say to that. He had all his tag outs, had so many assists, and now he's forced an early 2v3. Mr. Dude in Ember Stomp, having grabbed Enel, chunking him down. There's the Mighty Cleave as well, and a smash for good measure. Enel looking to be in a fairly bad position now, but we shall see how this pans out going forward. Ooh, he does still have his escape.
And now dropping really, really low. As you mentioned, still having that second win means he's not going to be out of it just yet. But the Stone Shield will be there to make sure Mr. Dude stays safe for a while longer. And at this point, it's going to be nigh impossible for Slackers to come back. But still, there is a chance. As Enel will be the one to drop really, really low. But manages to stay alive for now. Second win, of course, out of the options menu for now. Still on cooldown, as the tag will go through at the very least, making sure Slackers will be giving a bit more breathing room.
This cast is cursed today, goodness. Still, it is possible, if a bit daunting, especially with the sheer number of assists that Ugly Intentions still have. And with that Stone Shield especially being a very good denial tool.
Oh, but the draw is gonna come through, and with that, Chiro's health bar is gonna just disappear. And Empathy just making sure he closes it out in style.
Well,
oh, man.
Yeah, that's not fun. Perseverance on the ground. There comes the dive bomb, cancel the defense, and now the assist. Enol should be going down very shortly.
But hey, it is definitely a lot of fun for Ugly Intentions, as on the side of Enol, he is still in for now, but question is for how longer? Not much longer, as Empathy will be closing it out, granting Ugly Intentions the match win.
Well, they threw him a lifeline, maybe out of good faith, maybe out of good intentions, but that would be against what their name is. So, of course, staying true to what they want to be, they take it rather convincingly, and this time without the glory of the Repair Hammer. All praise be to the Repair Hammer, but don't do it. So,
oh no.
It does seem like Ugly Intentions will be going against Bad Intentions, and the bad boy versus the criminal. We shall see.
Is that what you're gonna call them?
That's that damage. That's criminal. It's should be outlawed, but indeed there are already special conditions on Warlock. Still, we shall see how it pans out. I do think that these two teams have a very good shot against each other. As I mentioned before, the stalling potential from the side of Ugly is definitely going to be a very good factor, especially with having a Destroyer have a second escape consistently being a looming threat, especially since it can also be used aggressively, contrasting to that of Ryuki's Lotus of Escape, which he actually needs to place first in order to actually use. So, however, both do have the same weakness. That is to say that they can't be used if you are knocked down. So if you abuse that very well, which indeed Empathy has shown himself to be a master at chaining knockdowns together, keeping you down. Indeed, a few times he managed to force out a tab escape, a second wind from just knockdowns. If he manages to pull that off onto Ryuki, he can eliminate one of the scariest factors for one of the biggest stalling potentials for the side of Bad Intentions.
And of course, having that contrast of one team having a summoner instead of a warlock would typically be seen as a disadvantage, but on the other hand, they do have a Blade Dancer compared to the Blade Master option for Bad Intentions. So we can definitely see more aggressive plays being followed up with the use of said Blade Dancer, but it's going to be really interesting to watch. It's a really hard one to call, as both of these teams have been on fire today. And as said, the one big potential gap or crack in their armor with Cymax seems to be a non-factor for them, at the very least today. So,
well, currently he's definitely shown himself to be worthy of standing alongside his teammates. Depending on how it goes, if he opts for the bees, then indeed they also have a very plausible kill combo with Blade Dancer and Summoner. Just as Warlock can launch you into the air and assault you with Dimensional Savos and Dragon Helixes and whatever, and someone else comes in, maybe Ryuki throws a bomb at you, because why not? so too can the side of ugly do that. If the Blade Dancer launches you into the air, does a bit of a heavenly dance around you, someone that comes in, Rumblebees, can definitely just chunk you out completely. And as you're falling, a lightning draw to swiftly finish off.
Just the nightmare of the bees is gonna be a looming threat, as you mentioned. And once again, I wanna reiterate the fact that there is a special Twitter. If you wish to follow all the good BNS eSport news, that will be at BNS Esports. So make sure you click that follow there and keep up with all of the great news, as we have the North American Invitational coming up later, as well as a lot of exciting LAN tourneys with the wildcard tournaments soon enough. So once again,
definitely my name is forward to that.
Oh yeah, my name is Bruce, joined once again by Barney. We will be going over to a very short break, but don't go anywhere. You definitely don't want to miss out on the next one. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Season 1 Blade and Soul European Invitational. And once again, my name is Bruce, joined by Barney. And to wrap it all up, we will be moving on to our final match of the day. It will be between ugly intentions and bad intentions. And Barney, what I'm kind of happy, even though it sounds a bit mean, the team intentions didn't make it through. We didn't get to cast them today, but oh man, this is a caster nightmare.
Yeah, if there are any more intentions that we should know about, any somewhat dangerous intentions, maybe a bit vile intentions, kind of but not really bad intentions, and of course intentions, because why not, right?
Of course, exactly. But as said, a lot of it is on the line here for both of these teams. They want to grab that first prize win, as well as for the cash prize, as well as the fighting points. Bad intentions looking to solidify their first place position in the standings for those precious fighting points that go towards their qualification for the regional EU-regional finals, so that they can actually go ahead and make it through to eventually qualify for the Worlds tournament. And on the other side, for ugly intentions, they've been sitting on the third place slot, if I'm not mistaken, in the team standings. So if they take this win, not only do they take an awesome cash prize as well as a few other goodies, but they would also snag that first place win, or rather that first place slot in the team standings.
Yep. Dosh and other goodies up for grabs, plus you move up. It's like a win-win-win-win. Lots of winning, just if you win. If you don't, it's like, I mean, you still did well, just simply for coming out here and you know, showing yourself to be this competent. It's like,
second prize is really good still, so it's definitely nothing to be ashamed of. And remember, of course, eventually there will be two teams representing Europe once we will manage to find which ones it's going to be after all of the qualification process is done and over with. So from what I'll be expecting, for the most part, from the EU side of things, these two teams are most likely going to be the ones representing the region. However, with what we've seen so far out of teams like Slackers and potentially coming out from teams like Legion Esports and some of the other ones that we have yet to see today, there's definite potential there for future upsets. There's still a lot of time left.
Yeah, there is. As we have discussed before, or if you weren't here and are unaware, pretty much everybody here, especially the top three teams that we've got here, Slackers, Ugly Intentions, and Bad Intentions, they all have very competent players in them. They've all shown themselves to be very good at the game, just skillful people in general. Yeah, maybe they had ups and downs here and there, but they made it this far. They're worthy. Make no mistake about that.
Oh, definitely. And will be even more exciting to see them perform in a LAN tournament setting. That I'm just way too hyped for it. But in the meantime, we will be moving on to our first round, and it is going to be between Mr. Dude and Ryuki, Destroyer versus Assassin. Started all off, Ryuki, of course, placing that flower down and making sure he has that second escape option available.
The party decoy, avoiding the unblockable blitz. Very nice there, but he's getting knocked back now.
The mine was avoided by Mr. Dude as well, and the follow-up is there. The grapple is not going to go through as the escape was still available. Lotus of escape was used for Ryuki, but Mr. Dude still trying to apply more pressure. Will be able to force that tab escape out of Ryuki, and things are not looking on the up and up for the Assassin here. Of course, Sin getting a few nerfs as of recent in terms of the timings, but persistence was popped by Mr. Dude, trying to go very aggressive onto his opponent, and now Ryuki getting caught means that he could be in big trouble. No Lotus means it's a free grapple for Mr. Dude. Drops him down, Stone Shield to the face, and with the animation canceling, Mr. Dude cleans it up with 100-0.
One of the stronger changes that was made to Destroyer in the transition from removal of skill points entirely was the making of the stun stone shield completely unblockable. Whereas before you might have to time it very specifically after the body slam or power slam, I believe it's actually called. After that, you throw them down, and you would have to do it incredibly quickly, or they had the chance to actually counter it with a ground counter. Now, you don't need to care. You just press V, and they're stunned. It's great.
If you're a Destroyer.
If you're a Destroyer. If you're not, if you're against the Destroyer, that's okay. That's gonna suck. But very good showing there from Mr. Dude. Strong start, especially against one of the perhaps more annoying players on that side. So
annoying to deal with.
Annoying to deal with, yeah.
Yes, as the Assassin is typically a frustrating matchup to go against, especially when it's Ryuki of all sins. So that does mean Ugly Intentions will be taking that 1-point lead, and as a result, starting out strong in the finals, and will be interesting to see which one is going to be coming up next. I would expect Empathy on the side of Ugly Intentions. What's your take on the side of Bad Intentions?
Well, I would say that probably Blade Dancer has the best stalling potential against Tenor. And I think maybe Bad Intentions knows this, so they'll probably try to pit Luki against Empathy, if that is possible. However, they might roll incorrectly, and if they do, Cymex might actually prove to be quite a challenge for Tenor regardless. So we will have to see who it is. Drum roll.
It is going to be Empathy versus Luki. And Empathy getting the opener here. 5-point strike to open it up very aggressively. Now with the draw already getting Luki down to 55% HP, and
10
don't
seconds.
even blink, ladies and gentlemen, as the match is an explosive one so far. Now with the ankle biter, is going to knock him down once again, and Luki not looking good for him as he still
rolling
has 12 seconds left on that tap escape, but the second win still available for Empathy. However, he opted to not use it just yet, finally goes for it.
I was so late on that escape. Why would you take that much?
But to deflect, I believe that was the parry there for Empathy, and as a result, Luki now launched up into the air, does have to draw. Tab escape with the second win, does come back up in the nick of time, but the Maelstrom, Remind is gonna be the option here for Empathy. Keeping it for a lot longer, but nice catch coming in from Luki. Gets the finisher and the turnaround.
Raw. That was nice. That was just clean. I mean, everything that Luki has done so far in like his matches have just been, you witness it and you just think, what is that reaction time? And indeed, the same thing.
You just can't blink, or
you can't blink. So yeah, that was very good. It looked to be a fairly dominant start for Empathy, chunking him down to 50% in the blink of an eye. The Wing Protector healing Luki up for a little bit longer, keeping him in. wasn't quite enough towards the end there. He took far too much damage. He probably, I think he must have underestimated just how much damage the prolonged searing slash does. That variant of it, actually, it doesn't just do bonus damage against a CC'd opponent. The area of effect is also increased substantially if the opponent stays in there. Don't do it. Don't make that mistake. If you're caught out by Searing Slash, you best tab that. In addition to the Dragon Tongue and the Lunar Slash, Empathy was at 25% when he tabbed. That's no position to be in. And he wasn't able to capitalize enough on the downtime that Luki was still suffering from. He managed to stall beautifully with the shoulder charge into Cyclone, and not having already used his guard break prior, he managed to, Luki that is, managed to fully block the 5-point strike from Empathy. And then a simple knockdown, not having your tab escape, Flock of Blades, Rush, standard stuff, really. And so it does appear to now be 1-1.
And with that, we will be moving on to our very first 3 versus 3 set between these two teams. And it's going to be a tough one to call. Of course, with the 2 previous 1v1s, it does mean that it's going to be Tenna versus Cymex in the upcoming 1v1. So that's going to be a rough one for Tenna, potentially. But considering how dominant he's been today, with all this pressure on his shoulders, maybe he's going to just step up his game even further. So we'll see what will happen, because
we all know how much he likes Cymex.
This next 3 versus 3 is gonna potentially show us who could win it all here, as the round will start shortly, and it is going to be Mr. Dude versus Ryuki here in the opener, as the position swap will be the choice already for Ryuki. Actually, now getting stunned off means that he could be in trouble. No Lotus Flower means he cannot get out of that grapple. And so far, pretty patient play coming out of both teams. None of them want to tag in too aggressively just yet. And now with the Typhoon, Ryuki gets knocked away. Mr. Dude with a beautiful follow-up, already dropping his opponent down to 50% HP, but Ryuki answers, gets the Lotus down finally, and still needs to do something off of it as, oh man, Mr. Dude.
A very timely counter by Ryuki there on the drag pull-in, buying him some time. There is just probably baiting the leap in there to get a free stealth. But now, once again, Party Decoy has been wasted. Oh, the knee!
But that's the stealth. And now with the Time Warp coming out of Tenna, nothing really gained out of it. No heal for Ryuki. Just maybe one reset off of that first stick, at the very least, even with the distance, should have been enough. And we'll see if he can do plenty off of it, as Cymex so far dropping low to 67% already. Ryuki getting a bit back on track now, trying to disengage for now. Doesn't get the counter proc. Does have the flower though, is forced to use it, and now we'll try to find an opening.
Indeed, the Doom and Bloom is a very potent tool against assassins, constantly keeping them out of stealth. But now Luki is in, dealing big damage.
And Luki definitely one not to be messed with, as we've seen previously. And now Empathy coming back in, and it is going to be that rematch, of course. And now getting in with the draw, gets the stun off of it, and forces that second win from Luki. Means that Tenna will tab in, does have that thrall back up. Mr. Dude is the option for the side of Ugly Intention, and now with that thrall still wrecking havoc, we'll see what they'll be able to do off of it, as the pressure is on. Tenna still managing to stay alive and well for now. Does have a little help, but the Stone Shield getting procced is going to keep Mr. Dude safe for a while longer. However, opts in to get out. Empathy back in.
Oh dear. That's a lot of damage.
And not the best timing, but as a result, Tenna looking mighty fine, and Time Warp should be coming up relatively soon. Gets the knockdown. Empathy still potentially in trouble, but now with the fall back up, looking to do something, but the grip is there. We might see some tag-ins come in shortly, but the Time Warp is going to be popped. Means that Tenna's going to be healed back to full. Empathy could be in trouble, but so far still alive. Does have a little bit of help. Sanctum was popped. Mr. Dude is still there. Gets the follow-up, but Empathy can re-engage just yet, and as a result, Tenna still in it for now.
A very solid assist there from Mr. Dude. Not only was he shielding his ally there, but he also knocked Tenna away from the Sanctum, giving him a lifeline now. There's the grip once again. Yeah, a bit of an awkward floating position here, man. Back on the floor.
Oh, but unfortunately, even with the tag in, nothing really gained out of it so far, as Ryuki is gonna be able to stall, or his team will have the position swap onto Empathy, as he does not have that second win up and available.
Oh, already the second win forced.
And now we'll see what he can do off of it, as the swap once again. Cymex is in for the side of Ugly Intentions. Ryuki looking to do more, but the sustain will be there for the summoner. And as a result, so far, advantage will be ever so slightly on the side of Bad Intentions.
Rather odd interaction there. It seemed that the Lightning Strike didn't quite hit its mark. However, he did still heal a substantial amount with the Poison Breath. Knockdown on both Cat and Summoner. But now, tag in from Empathy, a bit fruitless there. The Phantom Grip missing its mark entirely.
And now, as we get closer towards that late game mark, some of those resources and those tag-ins will run out shortly for both of these teams. But so far, Ryuki is at 45%. Looks to do something, but the aerial is there, and as a result, the Stone Shield is gonna say nope.
He's on point today with those.
Spoiler. But Tenna is back in, and Time Warp might be up and available once again. Empathy is going to be his opponent for now. The Sanctum is there. The draw was used, but so far nothing really gained off of it, and as a result, Empathy is forced to go back. The Falcon is not really going to connect it. As a result, the Leech is going to go through, but he's still managing to stay up for now.
Oh god,
however,
Cymex
is going to die in the meantime. And as a result, Empathy is going to go extremely low too. Tenna taking advantage in his hands. It does have the Time Warp, but gets knocked up just in time. However, it's not going to be enough. Maybe Empathy, though, still at 3% HP, not dead just yet.
Mr. Dude once again saving the day, but now he's all on his own. Ah, this is looking fairly bad. He's just I'm angry. Attacking directly into Tenna's block.
Destroyer is going face as they love to do, but Luki is going to come back in to try and finish the job. Mr. Dude at 50% HP will be dropped really, really low. Knocked down on the ground. Nothing left. And oh man.
Wow. What an underwhelming finish.
Take it.
Not even a send. Not even a, I'm gonna let my very underwhelming teammates tag in assist attack finish you off. Yeah, all right. Well, it was going very, very well. I think the turning point was when Cymex just got blown up in his attempt to assist there. Typically, especially on such a high priority target as a summoner, in 3v3 that is. If you come in and you don't instantly use an iframe of some sort. So if you use True Friend, for instance, you're safe for at least 5 attacks or 5 seconds. And that can mean that you can heal your ally for 10%. You can do really good damage if they've launched them into the air. If you've gone for Rumblebees, you can do good damage if you've got Sunflower anyway. Maybe a Cat Pounce as well. But if you don't have that, if you don't have that option to use your iframe straight away, if you get caught out beforehand, because there is a very, very small period of time where upon entering, you can't do anything. It's very slight, but if you capitalize on that, you can pretty much catch almost anybody out, and then it falls to the teammate that's already in to try and save you, which you don't want it to be going that way. You want it to be the other way. Ideally, you don't want to be using your assists to save someone at all. If possible, you want to use them aggressively and, you know, decimate one person, make it a 2v3 as quickly as you can. None of these games have ever really gone quite long enough to the point of additional assists, but that's also a very, very big worry for the teams that find themselves in 2v3s. Or worse, 1v3s. It's sort of like, we commend you for staying alive this long, but it's only gonna get harder.
Unfortunately. But with that being said, it is going to be Team Bad Intentions taking up that win, and as a result, getting those 3 points total. All they need is 3 more points, and it got this first place finish in the bag. And on the side of the opposing team for Ugly Intentions, they need to start bringing it back in. Of course, we have the best friends matchup coming up next. It is going to be Tenna versus his very best friend, Cymex.
Yeah, we all know how much Tenna loves Cymex. And his, oh yeah, of course. It's a wonderful little trio.
You could say the Brawl is involved too, but nevertheless, the round will start. Sanctum has been used by Tenna here in the opener, already putting Cymex on the back foot here, and now going in. He's not going to opt in to use Leech just yet, but goes through the Time Warp, actually. So far,
very early Time Warp.
Super early.
Seemingly fruitless, not getting very much at all out of that.
But even without Time Warp, you don't want to count Tenna out, as he still manages to obliterate Cymex, dropping him down to 36% HP before he can regain some of it back. And now it's Cymex's time to shine, with the Petal Storm being down, with no Time Warp available for the Warlock. He needs to return the damage and the favor, now dropping his opponent extremely low. And so far, looking pretty bad for the Warlock. But as said, Tenna, even without Time Warp, definitely someone you don't want to mess with. And now Cymex,
he got him!
still gets it.
Oh,
and as a result,
that overflow proc at the end, just have some more lasers. I know how much you like them, but I mean, it's this wonderful back and forth between specifically these two classes, not even these two players necessarily, but just these two classes. Oh, time distortion wasn't used that well. Oh wait, I forgot, it's a Warlock. It doesn't need time distortion. And then it's like, oh, the summoner's on lower health, 36%. That's not low. Summoners don't get low. Low health for a summoner is like 10, maybe, or like less than 10. Otherwise, they just heal it all off and we're like, I mean, you did damage to me, but it's like it never happened now. And especially with the surprising burst as well. I think that's the other thing, is that summoners don't necessarily need setup in order to deal damage to you. It's not like I need to have you stunned or launched into the air in order to deal a lot of damage to you. No, they just use Sunflower.
Some left click, right click action, very classic, very standard. But as a result, next 1v1 setup or set will be just up for grabs in terms of who is gonna go in, and would it be your bet?
Well, I think it is entirely possible for Tenna to come back this time, maybe hoping for somebody else, but I think that Ugly Intentions is just going to send up Cymex again, just in case. So it could be a Tenna Cymex rematch. It might be Lukey instead. No, actually, they send up Mr. Doot.
And that is not a matchup you want to see as a destroyer historically, but Tenna now
who knows?
With the Thrall up and losing that previous round might come back determined, but the Thrall actually...
He's using Fury!
And gets the Thrall solo already!
Oh my god, is he gonna kill the Thrall?
Yes, he will! And with that, he sets aside. Oh, Tenna gets the stun, and the grab. This is not looking good for Tenna. Mr. Dude with the strat.
Is he gonna second win? He does second win. That Thrall cooldown is massive now. He might have gotten the leech, but this is looking very bad. Gets him with the scorching.
And now launches him up into the air, gets the KD, gets the grapple, and this is over. Mr. Dude does it. Surprises Tenna, surprises us all, and gets the win. Just
that was nuts. I was not expecting that. I'll admit. Usually when I play Destroyer personally, and I find myself against the Warlock, other than the fact that I usually cry in the corner first, I then usually pick up Persistence, the defense one, just so that they can't, PvE me down, so to speak. But he just decides, no, I'm just going to kill your Thrall. I don't care. You're not going to get to use Time Distortion.
Hey, Time Distortion is on a low cooldown, but when there's no Thrall, there's no Time Distortion. So
if you get to use it every time it's up, you get to use it, I think, slightly, about maybe 2 times, maybe 3. I'm not sure entirely. But 2 times definitely during a single match, you get to use it in a 1v1. But if you kill the Thrall, the cooldown on that is massive. So that was
it definitely was. And as a result, we will be moving on to the free versus freeze once again. And since Bad Intentions had a much better time in the previous round or previous set, what do you want to see out of Ugly Intentions to potentially get another win here on the boards?
I want to see more of that. more of that. If they have this sort of level of strategy against Bad Intentions, then, well, other than the fact that they surprise most everyone with that, where, oh, historically bad matchup. I mean, I don't think matchups even have any relevance now. I mean, Kung Fu Master versus Summoner, usually, oh yeah, Kung Fu Master's gonna win. Nope. Destroyer versus Warlock, a Warlock's gonna win. Nope. So we'll just have to wait and see. But definitely it seems that from the 1v1s at least, it seems that Mr. Doot, he knows. He knows something that we don't. He had a good showing against Ryuki. He had a great showing against Tenna in that previous round, which, I mean, I almost never see the guy go Fury. But apparently when he does...
You don't... It's probably for the best. For you not
it
to
is
see
probably for the best. It's probably him literally taking out his Fury on Tenna for what happened in the 3v3. And Cymex as well, proving that he definitely is a match for Tenna as well. So perhaps the quote-unquote trump card is not exactly so.
Oh, yeah. And now, of course, both squads here will be tied up, meaning that they need to get 2 free versus free wins on the board here. So I'm excited that we're going to be heading towards the full distance. We're going to see all of the sets here live. And before we do that, I want to once again mention, make sure you follow BNS Esports on Twitter for more awesome Blade and Soul news, and just so you can easily keep up to date with all of the exciting upcoming tournaments we have lined up for you. And of course, once again, a lot of prize pool money as well as other goodies are on the line here for these teams. First prize is, of course, no slouch, $1,200 alongside those 220 precious fighting points will be up for grabs. But next round will start shortly, and it is going to be Empathy versus Ryuki to open it all up. And nice right-click stun off of the glide for the Blade Dancer here.
A very standard start there, already out of a second win on Ryuki. Now he has only his flower left. Lightning draw just tickling him a little bit.
Empathy playing very aggressively, to say the least, so far. Not really able to get too much work done. Position swap is there, but
the soaring falcon. Oh dear.
But why though? Once again, the support Warlock coming in for Ryuki. He's gonna heal him back to full. Reset all of the cooldowns. This has been a strategy Team Bad Intentions has used before. We'll see if it's gonna pay off, as so far Empathy still gets a KD, follows up with a dive, and now trying to do more, but Ryuki still at 95% HP. Lightning Strides out of the way, does have the flower up, as well as that tab escape, but the draw's gonna go through, and now with a 5-point strike, with the aerial, things might be looking bad for Luki.
That fluck was nice, getting 2 people straight away, actually getting more damage on the Cymex than on Empathy, but still saving his teammate a little bit longer. Ryuki now does have
Mr.
both.
Dude comes back in. Lotus was used to keep him safe, but the Typhoon proc as well. Persistence.
That's actually not Fury.
Will be used for Mr. Dude, and Ryuki disengages in time. Does have the position swap. Now trying to set up for another potential combo. And now with the tag and with the aerial, Warlock here coming live for Tenna. He's gonna try and do plenty more, but doesn't get it just yet. 6 seconds left for Ryuki until he's gonna get out. And now with the stun, he's gonna try and set it up for Tenna. Sanctum is down. All should be back up. Time warp on the table soon enough. if not yet already. Tetherblade is going to knock his opponent down.
There's
of course,
the leech
the escape is there, but the leech coming in, untappable, is gonna take Mr. Dude down to 45% HP. And now with the Time Warp, can he do more?
He
no,
knocks him out of it!
The Typhoon is gonna be great, and the follow-up stun by Mr. Dude, who's absolutely on fire now. Pops the Ember Stomp, and SS is out of it for now. Stone Shield is gonna keep him safe, but now with the Helix and all of the damage coming in, we're gonna take him pretty low. And the Poison Breath coming live for Ryuki means that Mr. Dude is gonna still be alive for now, but
10 pieces out.
To tag
Mr.
out.
Dude should do the same. And he does, and in comes Empathy. Cymex's tag-ins, I want to mention, have been absolutely spectacular in keeping his team alive. And Blue Petal Storm!
And Luki is gonna be absolutely destroyed, deleted from the set. As so far, oh man, ugly intentions.
What is this
their
Lotus?
Ugly side indeed.
What is this Lotus?
Looking to get the win here. Now Ryuki desperately trying to stay alive for now. It's gonna drop really, really low. Coming in with the Typhoon is gonna be Mr. Dude, as he will go out. But no, Tena is gonna be really, really low. Sanctum into the Brawl. Empathy still up there. Does have his cooldowns available for now, but Tena should have that Time Warp soon enough. Leech is of course good to go, and that might just be enough for him to do plenty, but Cymex being his opponent means he's gonna have a bad time.
Ooh, especially with the Flying Nettles and the Briar Patch as well.
Time Warp coming in, but it might just be too late. No, still saves them, but again,
barely.
Tough uphill battle.
Mr. Duke comes in, misses the knee, unfortunately. Don't get too cocky. He's now healing up. That drag. And the tech chase smash as well. Tena forced to come out.
But still alive at the very least. And now Ryuki trying to do something here. If Mr. Dude overextends, might get punished. And who knows? Team Bad Intentions, of course, not out of it just yet. But
this is looking
very unlikely for a win here.
They're doing very well, Ugly Intentions, to have completely obliterated Luki like that. The PvE Petal Storm, Petal Toss coming out of Cymex. What a legend.
Definitely paying off for them so far, but as said, Bad Intentions not out of it just yet, just trying to do as much as possible here. Mr. Dude, of course, still really low, will have all of his cooldowns back up once he tags in. However, Cymex is proving to be a challenge for Ryuki, and I don't think they can play the timer to try to somehow survive and get a win off that way. And as a result, Ryuki's gonna be in big trouble and gets absolutely destroyed by those sunflowers. And Cymex now getting back into the best friend matchup. We'll look to close it out, but Time Warp should be available for Tena once again, but unless he gets a 1v3, which he is looking to set up for.
Well, it's gonna be hard.
Looking bad.
I think now is the time.
Oh no! Time Warp was there, but he didn't press the Bastion fast enough. I'm not entirely sure, but that does mean he's out.
His health just did this, just gone. Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, Summoner. Who cares? Still, that was yeah, that was a very good showing there. Very well played. I have to probably give MVP on the side of Ugly Intentions to Cymex. His first few assists, his first 2 assists were both defensive. He saved Empathy, he saved Mr. Do. And then on his last one, he came in and did frickin' Petal Toss PvE style and Rumblebees and demolished Luki. So he definitely gave them a good leg up. Losing the Wing Protector, being the only reliable save method for the side of Bad Intentions. There is obviously the party decoy, but that hinges on you actually being hit during the activation period, which is not always likely.
And once again, just to reiterate, it is that it means that Ugly Intentions are up 5-3 in terms of points up against their opponents in Bad Intentions. And with that, who takes this next 3 versus 3 win takes it all. And it's gonna be a rough one, especially since now that they've showed their hand, Bad Intentions should be able to be more prepared against Ugly Intentions. As you just saw, a lot of prize money is on the line here for both of these teams, and they definitely want that. They definitely want that first prize win for that $1,200, as well as the 220 points that they can acquire to make sure they solidify in those top spots and qualify for the regional finals eventually. So once again, so far, excellent series.
Oh yeah, there's so much going on in this one that if you were to tell me, pick out which team you think did the best, I can't do that. I can tell you who won. I can't tell you who I think I like more. I think they're all fantastic, and I mean, we'll just have to wait and see how it all ends up in this final one.
And the good part is that both of these teams provide slightly different play styles, of course, as well as the difference in classes. So it's awesome to see both of these squads clash up against each other. So we'll find out shortly who will be the victor. Once again, give it up for both Bad Intentions and Ugly Intentions. This will be the decider set. This next winner will be the winner of it all for that first place finish. And to start it all off, it is going to be Tenna versus Mr. Dude.
He's got Fury.
Oh man!
That's not. You don't want to be in. You don't want to be there. That's not. That ain't good. Don't. And Bastion's run out. What are you gonna do now? Well, luckily for him, Mr. Dude's focus ran out.
That's what I was about to mention. But even with that, Leech is available for Tenna. So as long as he finds an opening, he could just get a kill here, as the time warp is gonna be there. But fortunately for Mr. Dude, he's gonna be able to stay alive for a while longer. But now with the setup coming through, the air launch is good. Even Empathy, when tagging in, dropped extremely low. And now Cymex coming in for the potential save. And this is not looking good for Team Ugly Intentions.
Miscommunication there. Mr. Dude got locked in.
Oh, and Loki! Loki once again! You can't blink when this man tags in, as he gets the kill secure already on Mr. Dude. Bad Intentions looking to get the win, not messing around anymore. Means that Ryuki now is going to be the one to face off against Cymex, and things are not looking good for
the dragon's tongue is a harsh bite indeed. Dear me. It was almost looking bad with the miscommunicated ice mine onto Mr. Dude, but it doesn't matter, because look, he came in and he was like, I got this.
And as a result, Cymex should be able to stay safe for the most part during the neutral game here in this particular 1v1 engage. But if Ryuki tags in, actually, he doesn't even need any tag-ins, because he managed to do so much damage off of the Poison Breath and Lightning Rod that Cymex is all the way down to 29% HP. But as you said, unless it's below 10%, it might not be that dangerous, as they should be able to sustain back up. Petal Storm is down. Ryuki still around 50% HP, but a lot of help and reinforcements can come in on the side of Ryuki. So we'll see what Bad Intentions opts in to do, as the tag by Empathy is gonna be there, but Cymex still dropping really, really low, as Loki gonna be heading out. Empathy now in to fight up against Ryuki, and this is looking really rough.
Oh, the guard break! Oh!
The lightning strike! It actually gets the stun off of it, and now with the air launch, with the help of Tenna coming in, maybe it's gonna be enough, as Empathy
gonna deter him from finishing him off again. Probably not enough time to swap Petal Toss.
But that would have been really bad for Loki there, potentially. As Cymex having free reign during that air combo could have been absolutely disastrous for them. But still, with that, Empathy launches his opponent up into the air. It does have a relaunch possible if he opts into use it. But Guardian Tempest used, draw popped as well. The mine was used there, I believe, but not really getting anything out of it.
Falcon gets denied by the Maelstrom. That was very timely. That could have spelled death for Empathy.
Ooh, Strays coming in
as well.
Oh, the air combo is there.
This should be dead. This should be dead. It is.
It is. And Ugly Intentions looking to turn it around now as Ryuki's also really low. Empathy and Cymex, the gods trying to get a win here somehow. Getting Ryuki really low, and as a result, he's forced to swap. And now Tena in big trouble as he has to face off against Cymex. A bad matchup for him as with that time warp.
Time distortion. Cymex is in the air. This is looking pretty bad. He has no escape. Oh god!
With that, Ryuki is gonna be able to do the job and close it out. Cymex getting destroyed there in the end. Empathy with a monumental task ahead of him needs to somehow bring it back. Doesn't manage it.
Ain't gonna happen. So it ain't. That's wow. Okay.
Oh man, and Team Bad Intentions in the end, with a struggle, managed to get a win and the first place finish. And I'm out of breath, Barney.
My heart, my poor heart. I can only imagine how they must feel having to actually play that. That was absurd. Having to, oh goodness me.
Oh yeah.
The back and forth. It was very unfortunate that Mr. Duke, perhaps getting a bit overconfident at the beginning there with the Fury, also being unable to actually capitalize on the red spin, on the Typhoon, massive damage that would have happened had Tena not had the Bastion up and was blocking. So if that play had worked out, it might have gone very differently. However, because of that, because they lost one of their biggest damage sources, biggest burst damage sources, other than maybe Empathy, it was a rough battle from the start.
And still, I gotta say, Tena's tag-ins definitely saved the set there, I believe. Saving up Luki a couple of times, twice, I believe, if I recall correctly. So really exceptionally well done by both of these teams. I wouldn't be disappointed if any of them represented EU, of course, later down the line. And
yeah, again, I would be happy for either of these.
Beautiful match.
It's very... I can't even find the words for it right now. I'm still recovering from that match. That was... How do you get that good? And not sarcastically this time.
No, not at all. And as a result, as you'll be able to see on your screen, first place takes $1,200 as well as 220 points. And in this case, Bad Intentions will be solidifying their first spot in the standings. But as said, Ugly Intentions not gonna go home empty-handed, if you will, with $900 up for them, as well as 150
$900
points. Pretty good, of course. And once again, extremely well played to all the teams participating, Slackers included, who will be getting that first place finish with the $600 prize as well as the 90 fighting points. And honestly, I've been overall really impressed by Slackers as well. I would have expected Bad Intentions, Ugly Intentions, Legion Esports, maybe even potentially Solby's Airlines to do exceptionally well, but they've proven me definitely wrong, and that they are not someone you want to mess with either. So I'm really excited to go to the wildcard tournament. It's going to be, of course, in July, and as you have taught me, Barney, it's going to be in Leicester, UK, I believe it's pronounced. Leicester.
So,
yes.
Yeah, if you want to come along, then Leicester's where it's at. Or, online.
But you'll be able to meet up all of these awesome players, and you definitely want to see them live, because if this is what they can do online, I'm just even that more excited to see what they can put out on LAN, in a LAN setting. So I just can't wait at this point to see them. But of course, with that being said, once again, thank you so much for joining us for the Blade and Soul Season 1 European Invitational. There will be The VODs will be up available on the official Blade and Soul YouTube channel, as well as a winner's interview up on the Blade and Soul Esports section of the website. So make sure you follow Blade and Soul Esports on Twitter at BNS Esports. You definitely don't want to miss out on any of the future announcements, as well as the North American Invitational, which is going to happen tomorrow. So definitely make sure to follow the Twitch channel. That makes it easy for you to see whenever the tournament is live. And once again, it's been an absolute blast to have the pleasure of casting all of these amazing players and awesome matches. And thank you so much for joining me, Barney.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
And once again, you can follow me on Twitter down below, as you can see on Mr. Burnch. Barney having a little issues with his handle just a bit. It's on its way. Don't worry. Soon, TM. Soon, TM. And once again, follow Blade and Soul on all of the social media, and make sure you tune in for the North American Invitational. And don't miss out on Monday's Blade and Soul live stream for the upcoming content. It's a lot of exciting stuff in the future.
To look forward to.
Oh, yeah. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Farewell.